And we said last time that the lymphoid system is a very important system because it allows us to detect self from non-self, especially our cells, no, our white blood cells. They are able to detect cells of the self and the intruders. Okay? And sabi natin, no, it's a highly specific system and it is triggered, no, or activated by the presence of antigens. And we say that antigens are antibody generators. No? So usually, no, the antigens that trigger an immune response is or are actually foreign antigens, no, because they are recognized by the white blood cells as intruders to the body. Okay, so the system functions again in neutralizing and destroying again antigens, and then we have viruses, bacteria, no, parasites, as you've recalled, no, in the discussion of the eosinophils. Thus, you have virus-infected cells, cells of transplanted organs, and tumor cells and cancer cells. So these are uh, the antigens, no, the microorganisms, and the types of cells that are being attacked by our white blood cells or by our soldiers. So aside from neutralization and destruction of those. Of course, no, the system functions in draining of the excess tissue fluid or interstitial fluid in order for us to maintain our body temperature. So we said last time that if you would be asked of the difference na between tissue fluid and lymph, no, so you say in terms of composition, they are the same. They are only different, no, in terms of location. So the name actually indicates the location. So when we say interstitial fluid or tissue fluid, so syempre, that's the fluid bathing the tissue cells. So once the tissue fluid enters the lymphatic capillary, it becomes lymph. So again, in terms of composition, they are the same. No? And we said the purpose of draining excess fluid, excess tissue fluid, no, is to return that to the circulation in order for us to have or in order for us to maintain our normal blood pressure. Okay? So aside from the first two functions, so we said also last time that the lymphatic system is very important in the transport of dietary fats in the form of lipoproteins and also fat-soluble vitamins. Yung ADEK, no? Vitamins A, D, E, and K. And we said that in the small intestines, so we have an association of our blood capillaries and our lymphatic capillaries. So we call our lymphatic capillaries as lacteals. Huh? And we say that the lipoproteins, so the emulsified fats, the fat-soluble vitamins, they are now absorbed by the lacteals and not by the blood capillaries. So one reason is that remember, the emulsified fats, although they are emulsified already, although they are broken down, they are still very large to pass through the membrane of the blood capillaries. Okay, so they can now pass through the parang holes or fenestrations of the lacteals. That's why it's the pathway of circulation of dietary fats. No? And it stated that normally lymph is colorless, but right after a meal, it's creamy. No, it's creamy. It's milky. No, because of the presence of so much dietary fats or lipoproteins, and we call that chyle. No? So CHYLE. Okay. So again, you just review your notes na na-discuss na natin to dati pa. So, syempre, we have another function is the production, maintenance, and the distribution of lymphocytes or the white blood cells. So, again, you have here a section of a red bone marrow showing you hematopoiesis. So, the orange ones are the white blood cells, and then the red ones are the red blood cells, and the blue ones are the platelets. Okay? And of course, the veins. No? We've discussed this last time. We have the works of our phagocytes, diba? Our lymphocytes, no? Our T cells, our B cells, and other cells, no? Responsible for protection, especially the role of the APCs, no? In presenting antigens to the T cells. Okay. So again, in terms of components, so we have again the fluid, no? It's called lymph. So lymph now passes inside the lymphatic vessels. And then you have the lymphatic organs. No? And we said in terms of lymphatic organs, we have the primary and the secondary lymphatic organs, now, which again we will be recalling later. Okay. Again, in terms of transport, so you have here the route, now the route of transport of lymph, now from the tissue fluid or from the tissues rather going to the circulation. So again, so lymph will be absorbed by the lymphatic capillaries. Okay, and then in our discussion last time, so we said that there are so many interspersed lymph nodes. Okay, because lymph nodes are they are the inline biological filter. So after draining tissue fluid, from the tissue, so lymph now, okay, will enter the afferent, diba? The afferent lymphatic vessels. So ito. And then there is now battle, inside the lymph node being a secondary organ. So all debris, microbes, pathogens, antigens will be battled, will be destroyed inside the lymph nodes because you have lymphocytes there and macrophages. And then lymph now exits via the efferent lymphatic vessels. Then all the lymphatic vessels, okay, they will now converge or join, forming larger lymphatic ducts. No? And we said there are two lymphatic ducts. You have the right lymphatic duct, okay, which drains lymph coming from the right side of the head, face, neck, shoulder, and then you have thorax and then the right upper extremity. And it now returns lymph, more specifically this time. So it returns lymph to the junction between the internal jugular vein and the subclavian vein, because in Yerso we said that lymph returns via the subclavian. Okay? So the duct kasi is found between the junction of the internal jugular vein, which collects blood from the head and other parts of the head, from the brain and other parts of the head. And then you have the subclavian, okay, draining lymph, subclavian vein, diba, draining blood to this part of the body, shoulder area, okay? And then we said that the larger lymphatic duct is the left lymphatic duct or the thoracic duct. So it begins as a dilation known as the cisterna chyli. So the cisterna chyli actually accumulates lymph coming from the lower part of the body, from the abdomen, from the intestines, and then from the hip part, from the pelvis part, and from the lower extremities. So ayan. Okay? And then it drains it drains lymph coming from the left side, the rest of the left side of the body. Again, it now empties, okay, at the junction between the left internal jugular vein and the left subclavian. And then from the junctions, lymph now goes to the right and left brachiocephalic, and then finally to the superior vena cava, going back to the heart. So we said last time that the purpose of draining excess tissue fluid is to help our cardiovascular system not to maintain the pressure of blood. Okay, and we said that if excess tissue fluid will not be drained, it now causes edema. Okay, so edema can be caused by systemic diseases, in some pregnant women, and this is called a pitting, edema, because when you press a certain edematous area, the pit persists for a long time. So ito yung pamamanas. And sabi natin, edema can also cause damage to the surrounding tissues. Okay? Now, for the lymphoid organs, so we said we have the primary and the secondary. So the primary organs are the bone marrow and the thymus. So going back to this one. So you have the bone marrow and the thymus. Again, why are they called primary or central lymphoid organs? Because Ba't sila tinawag na primary or central lymphoid organs? Because they are the ones, like, remember, what's the purpose of the bone marrow? They are the ones.
Production of the B cells and for
Oh,
maturation po. And
okay,
T
no?
cells. Yeah.
Okay, very good. That's CJ again?
Yes po.
Okay. Huh? So the primary lymphoid organs are again necessary for the production. So in that case, production is the role of the bone marrow. Diba? It produces all the blood cells, no? And in the maturation. So B cells mature in the bone marrow and the T cells, they mature in the thymus. Okay? And then the secondary organs, diba? We have, sabi natin, we have the spleen, and then we have the lymph nodes, and then we have the MALT, yung mucosa-associated lymphatic tissues, or the lymphatic nodules. No, they are found. All they are strategically located. No, they are found in the serous, in the mucosa. So you have the tonsils. So you have the lymphatic aggregations in the large intestine. Tapos large intestine in appendix, and then you have the Peyer's patches in the small intestines. No? Sabi natin, in the secondary lymphoid organs, it's where war happens. It's where the fighting happens, no? The fighting between our white blood cells and the antigens or the intruders or the pathogens. Okay? So yun, no? Okay, so a review lang of the bone marrow. Again, there are two types. You have the red and the yellow, and they are found in the medullary or the marrow cavities of the bone. So the red bone marrow is found at the epiphysis, at the tips of the bone. It's also found, um, again, no, it's found at the epiphysis of a long bone. It's also found at the flat bones and at the irregular bones, or in flat bones and irregular bones. And the red bone marrow is again responsible for hematopoiesis. So these functions are functions of the red bone marrow. Okay? So ito. The other type is the yellow bone marrow. It's found in the diaphysis, no, or the main shaft of the long bone, and we said it's primarily made up of fat. So again, you concentrate on the functions of the red bone marrow. So again, it's for hemopoiesis, and it's also very important in um, phagocytosis of debris or the degenerating cells, especially the red blood cells. Now, that's why it can store and it can recycle iron. If you can recall, hemoglobin, diba? Hemoglobin is found in our red blood cells. Again, when we have 280 million of hemoglobin per RBC, diba? So most of the worn out RBCs are also being recycled here. That's why the bone marrow can store and can recycle iron, no, which is found in the hemoglobin. And of course, sabi natin, it's also where the B cells mature to become plasma cells. That's why the bone marrow is a very important organ for antibody production. Okay? So thymus, sabi natin, it's the first lymphoid organ to develop during embryonic development. Okay, it's bilobe, it's pink at birth, and sabi natin, no, it starts and weighs, no, it starts to develop and weighs about 10 to 15 grams in babies, and then it attains its maximum weight of 30 to 40 kilograms by puberty. And sabi natin, no, as the person ages, it atrophies or it diminishes in size. So sabi natin, atrophy is because of fatty infiltration. No? So from pinkish, the thymus gland na becomes yellowish because of the deposition of fats. And of course, as the organ atrophies or as the organ decreases in size, there is also a decrease in the function. So there would be less lymphocyte production, less lymphocyte, especially the T cells, no, less T cell maturation. So as a person ages, no, he or she becomes more immunocompromised. Kaya humihina na ang immune system ng mga oldies, no? Kasi lumiliit na rin ang kanilang thymus. Okay? So sabi natin, no, a very important role of the thymus is in the maturation of T cells. And for every 10 T cell progenitors, only mga 1 to 3% survives. And sabi nga natin, no, the maturation is very important for our T cells to be able to recognize self from non-self. Okay? So yun, no, there is now proliferation of clones of mature naive T cells. So again, when we say mature, no, they have the full capacity to function, but they have not experienced fighting or recognizing an antigen yet. So they are said to be naive, they are inexperienced, they are inactivated, no? Mature yet inactivated. Okay? And of course, you have again the secretion of a hormone, no, for the maturation, the proliferation of the T cells, and also for the overall function of the thymus and other peripheral tissues. Okay? Medyo mabilis lang tayo kasi hindi na to bago sa inyo. Ito lang sabi natin, no? Okay, so the progenitors, they now enter the thymus as CD4 and CD8. Ito lang yung hindi natin in-explain last time. Okay, so the CD4 cells, they would actually become the helper, no, helper T cells, and the CD8 cells would become the cytotoxic T cells. Okay, so CD means cluster of differentiation. It's actually a special marker, no, found on the surface of helper T cells and cytotoxic T cells. So later we're going to explain more. No? So when the progenitors are educated in the thymus, sabi natin, no, they are associated with a lot of teachers, giving them examinations. So if they're able to recognize self-MHCs and do not react to them, they pass the examination. But if they're able to recognize self-MHCs and react to them, no, they will become eliminated by macrophages. So deads agad. So another set of examination, ganun ulit, they are presented with self-MHCs, na major histocompatibility complex yan, di ba? They are very important surface markers or surface IDs. So again, if they pass the examination, they become full-fledged, no? They become mature and yet naive T cells or T lymphocytes, and they graduate, they exit the thymic university. But again, those who would fail for the second time, for the third time, for the nth time, they will now be again devoured or eliminated by our macrophages. Sabi natin dati noon, no, ang hirap ng kanilang sitwasyon. Mag-aaral sila, mag-sacrifice sila, tapos pag hindi sila nakapasa ng isang exam, deads agad. No? Unlike students, no? Pag medyo mababa ang exam, pwede pa rin bumawi anytime. Sila hindi, deads kung deads. Okay? So, ayan, no? Now, for the secondary lymphoid organs, so we have the lymph nodes. So, sabi, no, there could be more or less 600 bean-shaped lymph nodes. And we said that the lymph nodes are there already. You don't say, naku, may sipon ako, magkaka-lymph node ako. Hindi. So that's the time that the lymph nodes will become swollen. No? Sabi natin, they are very important, no, in cleansing the lymph, in filtering debris and intruders, pathogens, and antigens because they are the inline biological filter. So they are very important in our defense. No? And sabi natin, they are again named after their location. So cervical, neck part, subclavicular, so above the clavicles or the collarbones or shoulder part, axillary, kilikili, mediastinal, thoracic, no? Supratrochlear, so that's above the antecubital part, yung itong in front of the elbow, no? Then we have mesenteric, we have intestinal, inguinal, we have femoral. Okay, and we said last time that the location or the area of the swollen lymph nodes may tell us of the area of inflammation. So the lymph nodes which are closest to the area of inflammation, they are the ones which usually swell. So we can palpate our swollen lymph nodes. Sabi natin, during a physical examination, a medical doctor palpates the back of the ear, diba, beneath the jaw, tapos neck part in order to locate the swollen lymph nodes. So if, and the swelling would indicate no, a certain type of inflammation. Okay? So what else? Okay na? Ito, sabi natin, the lymph nodes are very, very important in the battle no, against the microbes because of the presence of lymphatic nodules. So lymphatic nodules are aggregations of lymphocytes. Okay? So once the lymph enters the afferent lymphatic vessels, okay, the lymph now passes the cortex where you can see the lymphatic nodules. And in the lymphatic nodules, you have a lot of lymphocytes. So kung merong daladalang dumi, o kaya pathogen, o kaya intruder, no, naglalaban na sila doon. No? They will now be responded. No, they will now be acted upon by the lymphocytes. And then after the cortex, the lymph now passes the medulla where you see macrophages and dendritic cells, reticular cells. So the bigger ones are the macrophages. So again, if there are intruders, so again, they are to fight them. No, the cells are to fight them. And after passing the medulla, lymph now exits a lymph node via the efferent lymphatic vessels. Okay, going to another, now it may go to other lymph nodes. So again, there is now filtration. So because of a wide array or an extensive network of lymph nodes, no? So it's ensured that before lymph goes back to the heart, no, it's not cleansed sa dami ng lymph nodes na kanilang dadaanan. No? Especially yung galing sa lower extremity. Okay. So again, the functions of the lymph nodes, so they are biological filters. They can filter whole antigens. Okay, they can filter portions of partially destroyed microorganisms or portions of antigens that are presented by our APCs, na by our antigen-presenting cells. Okay, so again, it's a very important center no, for the production of antibodies because it's where the B cells develop to become plasma cells, especially if there is war or fighting going on. Okay? Now, for the spleen, sabi natin, it's the largest lymphoid organ. It's the only lymphoid organ that intervenes with the circulation. So sabi natin last time in the discussion of the circulatory system, no, it's the organ that is a cheat organ to the closed system, to the closed type of circulation. Because again, when we say closed type, no, blood remains within a completely enclosed system of vessels. But in the case of the spleen, blood can go out of the blood capillary, no, of the sinusoids. And then sabi natin, deformed RBCs, they now are hindi naman embedded no? Para sabi natin kasi the spleen is a graveyard, di ba? For deformed RBCs, no? Because the macrophages are here to recycle no? The worn out red blood cells. Kasi sabi natin, being worn out, they are now damaged, no? They have changes in the shape, hindi na biconcave. So it means now if the shape is not biconcave anymore, the RBCs cannot return to the sinusoid, cannot return to the circulation. So the spleen is also a very important area no, for the storage of iron, for recycling of RBCs like the red bone marrow. Okay? And sabi natin, no, in terms of functions, again, no, phagocytosis of bacteria and worn out RBCs. And again, no, it's a major site of antibody production. So sabi natin tatlo, you have the bone marrow, you have the lymph nodes, and then you have the spleen. And since it's the organ that intervenes with circulation, no, it actually has a lot of blood inside. So it can store and it can release blood in times of demand, such as during hemorrhage. Parang emergency reservoir siya, no? And it's also very fatal, no, for a person um, to damage the spleen, no? So halimbawa, if there was an accident and if the spleen was really hit bad, so the person can die of hemorrhage. Sobrang madugo, no? Kasi nga it's a reservoir for our blood, no? And also during fetal development, it participates in hematopoiesis. So during fetal development, no, the bone marrow, the red bone marrow, and the spleen, they participate in hematopoiesis. Okay. One reason is that because, of course, during fetal development, no, the bones are not yet that formed. Diba? They are undergoing development pa lang eh. So in order to um, sustain, no, the RBC, so dapat mayroon pang isang pinanggagalingan, and that would be the spleen. Okay? So again, you have here macrophages, no, the spleen macrophages, no, that were very active in the degradation and the recycling of worn out red blood cells. Okay? Now we have the mouth. Now we have the mucosa associated lymphatic tissues or the lymphatic nodules. So take note, we have terms node and nodules. May lymph node, may lymphatic nodules. So the organ is a lymph node is an organ. No? A lymphatic nodule is not an organ. It's only a tissue. It's only an aggregation. So that's why the spleen, the thymus, the lymph nodes, no, they are called lymphatic organs because being soft organs, they are surrounded by a capsule. Meron silang matibay na balot. In the case of lymphatic nodules, they are only aggregations. So they are not considered lymphatic organs. Okay? And again, we have the tonsils. We have 5 tonsils. We have 2 palatine tonsils. So these are the palatine tonsils. And then we have a pair of sublingual tonsils. So they are located at the base of the tongue. That's why if you have a severe tonsillitis, usually you can also feel pain, no, at the base of your tongue. And we have one, no, that's the pharyngeal tonsil. So that's at the back of the nasal cavity area, or we call that the adenoid. No? And sabi natin, the tonsils, no, the Peyer's patches in the small intestine, and then we have the lymph nodes or the lymphatic tissues in the large intestine and in the appendix. Now, they are strategically located in order to filter and fight off intruders or pathogens along with the food, no, and the air that we are taking in. So like the tonsils, diba? They guard the entrance. No, they guard the passageway, nasal passageway, tsaka yung oral passageway. So doon pa lang, nasasala na yung ating hangin at yung ating pagkain. No? Lalo na pagdating sa small intestines. The small intestines is responsible for the digestion, absorption, diba, of nutrients. And if there are a lot of antigens or pathogens or microbes in the food that we ate, no? So if they will not be digested by the stomach acid, so still we have the lymphatic nodules, no? So ayan, ang dami-dami nila. So ibig sabihin bago ano ba ang absorb? Bago makuha yung mga nutrients, no? Bago sila dumaan sa epithelium, talagang sila ay sinasala pa ulit. Okay, before these nutrients go back to the blood for circulation. Okay? And sabi natin that the appendix has no known digestive function, but it has a lymphatic function. That's why if a person has tonsillitis and appendicitis, no, especially frequent, no, very frequent tonsillitis, syempre ang appendicitis, no, the ones it's inflamed, it has to be surgically removed by means of appendectomy. The tonsils, no, if they are frequently inflamed, so they should be removed by means of tonsillectomy in order not to spread or in order to prevent the further spread of infection. Okay? So, kailangan silang tanggalin. No? What else? Okay na yan. Sabi natin, no? Usually, when you have tonsillitis, it's a type of inflammation. So, there is redness, there is swelling, there is pain, especially the pain part, no? It's because it means that you have really a lot of microorganisms. And if the tonsillitis is really very, very advanced, no, there is now the development of tonsillar stones or tonsillar calculi, diba? Or the tonsilloliths. Sabi natin, tonsilloliths are mineralized or hardened accumulations of pathogens, pus, microorganisms, and so on. No?